Hi.
Ah, it worked. Amazing.
Yeah, it works. Amazing.
Incredible.
So here we are already. A lot of people joining us,
Right?
and it's 6 p.m. Where are you?
I'm in Westchester, New York. Yes, it is 6 p.m. here.
Excellent. Okay. Well, so we have 1 hour difference. So I want to welcome you to the show. This is a premiere week of Check the Gate, and you are one of our first guests. And this is an episode that we call In the Moment. So we're welcoming the amazing legend, the man, the legend, Andrew Litton, with whom I had the great pleasure of collaborating many times, and it's always been absolute fun, great time. So thank you for being here with us. And
I'd like to interrupt and say thank you for giving me something to do today. I've been looking forward to this since I woke up this morning. It's like, wow, I get to talk to Philip at 6 o'clock. It's awesome.
Well, which is a great thing, because we all had to figure out new ways of occupying our time.
Exactly.
And it's also a really great way to connect to other human beings around the world. So thank God for Instagram.
Exactly.
And that actually brings me to my very first question, which is, what would you advise a lot of young conductors, I guess any conductors at this point, but particularly young conductors? How would you occupy your time as a young conductor right now?
Well, I guess I would borrow the words of the great Tsar Boris Godunov when he tells his son, "Uchis, ditya, uchis, study." This is
which means study.
This is a gift. I mean, to actually have no commitments, there's absolutely nothing to do. Pull out the scores you've been putting off learning, get your Rite of Spring memorized. I mean, there's so much you can do during a time like this that's constructive. So I've actually started playing the piano again, which is really strange. So, and it's fun. It's fun to make music because I miss making music. And of course, all my colleagues at the New York City Ballet have set up all these video chats, and they're all taking class from their living rooms and all that. Well, you can't do that as a conductor. I mean, this is
the imaginary orchestra.
Imaginary orchestra. So it's a lot of fun to sit down at the piano and play again. And also, I have to confess, I finally started straightening out my desk for the first time in 14 years, and I've actually seen the surface of my desk for the first time.
Fantastic. How is it?
It's nice. It's wood. I didn't know.
That's great. So we have a question for you. Since this program is titled In the Moment. So what is the craziest thing that happened to you in the moment that you could share with us?
Well, actually, it's a story I'll never forget, and it happened a really long time ago, 1990 to be precise. But I was on tour with my then orchestra, the Bournemouth Symphony, and we were in Switzerland, and we arrived at this gorgeous little town called Locarno in the Italian part of Switzerland. And the concert was in this old church, probably, I don't know, from the 1600s. And the orchestra couldn't quite fit. We were playing Firebird, actually.
Right. Your favorite piece?
So we were sort of squeezed this way, and I had to come down past the crucifix, walk through the timpani, walk through the percussion section, through the woodwind section, down to the podium. And it was the last concert of this tour, and it had been going very well. And so as I make my way past the timpanist who I hired, a good friend, wave at him, the audience is just starting to clap. The orchestra can't see me because I'm obviously behind them and walking through them. Some part of my body rubs against the cymbal stand, holding the cymbals. I don't know, and of course, when you think you're going to drop something, you try extra hard to catch it.
Right.
So the cymbal stand started to go down, and I actually wound up pushing it rather than stopping it. And
right.
So the cymbals fell down on this 16th century stone floor of the church, making the most unbelievable noise, and the whole orchestra jumped like this. It was like, this is, thank goodness, way before terrorism, but it was really like a bomb went off. And so it was a heck of a way to start a concert. In fact, I was borderline hysteria, so I knew if I didn't just start immediately,
right,
that there would be no Firebird. So I literally whipped around and I started and the basses are like and so the whole time I'm saying, don't look at Judith. Now Judith was the number 2 viola, right? Judith was a blonde violist from Essex. I don't know if our viewers are aware that that's a triple whammy. So of course Judith would laugh at anything, like incontrollably. Somebody coughed funny in the audience, she'd laugh. So I said, whatever you do, don't look at Judith, because I knew she'd be hysterical. So, of course, you can control many of your bodily functions, but eyes, unless you cover them, very hard. So, of course, in the 25th beat of the piece, I turn to cue the violas, as always, and I stare at Judith, this is beautiful blonde, with her mascara forming a beard. And because she's a violist, she's trying to play. So you the most amazing triple ricochet on the string you've ever heard in your life. So that's my funny story. Sorry.
That's fantastic.
You have to be there, but it's still funny even if you weren't there.
That is absolutely fantastic. So we have another interesting question, and that is, tomorrow is a special day. It's a birthday of one of the greatest musicians of our time, which is Slava Rostropovich, whom you knew very well, and I believe you were assistant or associate conductor.
Both, actually.
Both actually, yeah. While he was a music director of National Symphony. So, is there some precious moment that you could remember of your interactions with him? Something that he did or said?
Well, first of all, thank you for bringing that up. And by the way, it's also the birthday today of a very famous musician, the one to whom I'm speaking. So
oh, my God.
Happy birthday, Philip.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy returns. I know we were originally planning on seeing each other tonight, going out for dinner. So
that's very, very true.
Our virtual dinner.
It's our virtual day. Cheers.
Cheers, yeah. But Rostropovich was a force of nature, as everybody knows, and he was an incredible man to work for. I got the job in June, I guess, of 1982, and after the audition, he calls me into his room, and he spends 90 minutes giving me the kind of pep talk that I've given many young conductors ever since. The most invaluable information, really. I mean, very logical information, but just so invaluable. And he never lost an opportunity to come and see me conducting children's concerts, pops concerts, first half of something. I'd look up and he had such a distinctive profile. It was like Hitchcock, and I'd see him in the shadows up in the first tier and I go, oh gosh, he's here. But the funniest story, because there are many stories, many stories.
Of course, yeah.
Funniest story was the first day of my life that I met him. And so after this pep talk that he gives me after I win the audition, he says, now, Andrushka, you must come immediately to my concert, Wolf Trap, this evening. I said, okay. So I called home. I said, I lived in New York then. Said, not coming home. So I go to the concert, and after I go backstage, and of course the mandatory kiss. He says, no, you must come reception. I said, okay. And I know you, of all people, Philip, find this very hard to believe, but I didn't drink back then. I didn't. And so I was...
How did you survive?
I don't know. But I was standing on line for the bar, and it's my turn finally, and I asked for a Diet Coke, which was my, at that point, drink of choice. And I'm in receipt of the glass. It's in my hand. Right. And you can always tell when somebody's right behind you. It's like we all have that spidey sense. And I turn around and there's the chin. And he says, Andrushka, what you drinking? And I said, Diet Coke. Oh, I hope I'm not making a big mistake. So anyway, that was my introduction to Rostropovich. And he was so generous with his time. I mean, the number of tours I actually went through, he says, come to my apartment, we drink and we talk Tchaikovsky. It was fantastic. It was just brilliant. And of course, like I said, he'd come watch me conduct. And then you could say, well, but he wasn't maybe the most beautiful conductor to look at, but he knew. This is the thing. He knew what a conductor needed to look like, whether he could do it himself. So that's why he was such a fantastic teacher, because he could tell you exactly what you were doing wrong, or what would be better if you did it this way. So he was great. And he was the same way. I remember he gave master classes to members of the orchestra, the National Symphony. And I went and played Strauss Sonata with Bill Steck, the concertmaster. And when we finished, he gave Bill 2 new fingerings in the second movement. I mean, this is a violin sonata.
Right.
And then he proceeds to say, Andusha, you're right-hand genius. But left hand not so good. I have genius left hand. So funny. The greatest cellist in the world saying that. But anyway, so then he proceeds to show all 5 places where I cheated with the left hand.
Wow.
I was like, okay, I give up. No, this guy was amazing.
My God.
It was absolutely unforgettable. So
I guess the last thing before we say goodbye, is there anything special that you can do? Again, this is very challenging time for conductors to do anything, I guess, in there. But you happen to be a great pianist, so.
Well, I don't know about that, but I just thought, I'm going to move you now. Everybody.
Where are we going?
We're going downstairs to where my piano is.
Oh, fantastic. Wow.
So we're, I think everybody needs Gershwin in their lives, especially during times like this, because he could somehow always make you smile. And so
well, Andrew,
fall down the stairs.
It ain't necessarily so.
And so this is, and I think it's appropriate since we're all having, are you still there? Can you hear me?
I hope so.
All right. So this is a song called Do Do Do, and the words are, won't you do what you done before, baby? And since that's what we're doing every day, I just thought it was
fantastic. Let's do this. Wow, bravo.
Thank you.
Bravo. So once again, our guest today is the amazing Andrew Litton. Please tune in the next days, weeks to check the gate, and we will have many more fantastic artists and many fantastic episodes. Andrew, again, thank you very much.
Thank you, Philip, and happy birthday. Many happy returns. Let's hope next year we can actually get together in person.
That would be lovely. Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Stay safe, everybody.